all, a fairly nice day here in California. But I'm not here to talk about the weather. I'm here to talk about the environment. And there'll be a rant at the very end. So stick around if you like the rants. Let's talk about the U.S. bailouts to the industry. The polluting industries cash in on COVID-19's bailout money. The EPA has issued a suspension of its enforcement of environmental laws. So the plastics bag industry has declared the ban on plastic bags a health risk. See, in that way, they can get rid of all these plastic bag bans around the U.S. Because as we all know, the plastic bags are ending up in the ocean and the waterways and along the creeks and are making a mess of our environment. But they don't care about that. Money is all that matters. So part of the bailout went to farmers, $14 billion worth. What the big pharma or big ag is doing, the multinational agricultural corporations are to get bigger with all the money. They're going to consolidate even into bigger and bigger ag companies until there's only just a few left. And if this one company grows only the money crop, then where are we? Right? Bad move for the agriculture department. Are we sure we should have given them any money? How many bailouts do we have to give the farmers these days? The airlines industry was supposed to get $50 billion. Well, they're going to get $50 billion or have already gotten $50 billion. We don't know. Part of that money was that money had some key provisions in it that you had to do to get the money. And one of them was to develop low-carbon jet fuel. That was all they had to do, was develop. They didn't have to make it, but they had to go in the development stage of low-carbon jet fuel. All they have to do is put in some kind of crop-grown ethylene or ethanol to add to it to make it greener. But in reality, that just is worse because you're taking the field crops and turning it into fuel that is then burned and put directly into the atmosphere. Stupid move. Now the coal industry, boy, they're going to get everything they want. No regulations at all. Even the Orange Man is going to deregulate mercury even more so that they can dump coal wherever they want and it can go into the water and the mercury can pour into the creeks that you drink from. The people out around the coal fields, you're drinking mercury. But I guess that doesn't matter, does it? What does mercury do to people when they're exposed to it? Your peripheral vision is impaired, lack of coordination, muscle weakness, but that's not all, it gets better. Changes in your nerve response, so you get tingling all throughout your body from mercury exposure. Performance deficits, kidney failure, and insomnia. It's just some of the things that you get from mercury exposure. But that's not all. The health industry is getting billions as well, but they're going to jack up the U.S. premium for healthcare by 40% next year. All you Orange supporters, 40% rise in insurance costs. You sure you don't want healthcare for all? Or universal healthcare by Bernie Sanders? Hello? Universal health. Healthcare. I can't talk. I don't know how to talk. Healthcare. Sorry, I didn't have my hands going. So, that brings us up to our next subject. I'm going to give a response to a comment that was left on my videos. I appreciate comments, so I don't take them off, even if they're against me or against the channel or against the left, libs and all that nonsense. Jackie Miller left a comment that I couldn't speak well or properly. So I looked at that and I saw that there was replies to it. Now I'm not able to reply back on the channel right now because the comments are broken again on my channel, where if I comment, all the comments disappear. So we're back to that again, but I will comment here instead. This person is cleverly conned by the Orange administration because he actually thinks that he wants to vote for the man in 2020. You know, this guy is so against you, Jackie, you can't even make this shit up. The only reason you don't know it is because you're not researching to see what he's doing. You are taking him completely at will, and you'll do whatever he says without questioning a thing he does. Do you think that's a smart way to move? By the way, if you're going to criticize somebody, at least learn how to spell. I know I have a speech impediment. I've told everybody on this channel for years. Doing this channel helps me get through that and gives me practice. So your criticism and hypocrisy is due noted. But I also noticed something about you. Jackie has no videos on his channel. He comes on my channel with over 1,000 videos and tells me I can't speak well when he doesn't even have the balls to put one lousy video up. Hypocrisy. Look the word up. So that comes to my last little issue is, why would anybody vote for the Orange Man? He says he's doing a good job with 100,000 infection rate in the U.S. China is much bigger than the U.S. Their infection rate only got to 81,000. And they were the pioneers to everything. They were the first, they were on the front lines of this whole thing. And you criticized China over and over and called it a Chinese disease. They've reported 4 days of no infection. Well, the Orange Man says he's doing an A1 job with 100,000 infected and still many, many places around the country not on lockdown. Or even just a simple keep your distance 6 foot rule. Now he's coming up. The doctors and nurses are stealing the ventilators and the masks. Or he just can't take anything. His own responsibility for anything is just not going to happen. He is going to be the perfect boy, and his followers will put him back into office no matter what. He could go and kill every single one of your families, and you would still vote to put this man in when he is doing the worst job the medical industry has ever said. And they say that every single day, but yet you don't believe it because you don't believe in science. But the minute you're sick, you're going to rush to the hospital to get some of that science. That breaking edge science that doesn't exist is just a hoax. Oh, by the way, how is this hoax that Trump talked about, that the Democrats cooked up to get rid of Trump's, to try and make Trump look bad? The hypocrisy of the right is just so glaring. You need full shades even to talk about it. One more thing I wanted to remind people of is that when Trump deregulates, the reason these regulations were put in there in the first place was from science. So if you get contaminated because of his deregulation, you get the same problem everybody else does. So you get all the problems, the cancer, the heart disease. Do you really want that? If you don't, that means you're not going to be voting for the Orange Man. If you want that stuff, then you are voting for the Orange Man. You need to look at yourself. Do you really want to get exposure to all that chemicals that's in the water? Do you want to see your water turn brown or have flames coming out of it? There's a reason the regulations are there. Not just for liberals, they're for everybody. But for the Trump supporters, why don't you take some more of that colloidal silver and drink that stuff down, and a little bit of mercury and motor oil. You won't have any problems with any of this stuff. It'll wash all the chemicals and the bad stuff right out of your system. I bet you can get some colloidal silver from Alex Jones. I definitely do appreciate your comments on my video, your ups, your downs. And don't forget, it's not about the messenger, it's about the message.